Hey, welcome back. We all want our websites to be above the law, or comply with the law, and we don't want to fall foul of anything like that. So, GDPR, any other compliance internationally, and things like that. Now, when you have your website, you can install lots of GDPR or cookie consent plugins. There's tons of them out there. You install them and they're pretty simple to work through. Okay, no one can complain about not knowing what to do. You can go out and get it. The trouble is though, they can have a big impact on your page speed score. How many of you have got your website? So we've got ours. We range between 98 to 100% depending on the time of day with our server, which is SiteGround. But we'll go with 98% as the lowest we ever achieve on our website for the mobile. Page speed score, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. When we install a GDPR plugin, the score can drop by nearly 22%. Okay, and no matter what you do, it just keeps dropping. It's because there's lots of JavaScript and thing that's running in the background for this like plugin to pop up on the front of your screen to say, hey, do you accept the cookies? I've seen some people, and I've spoken to some, where they have lost nearly 40 to 50% of their page speed score. And this is quite demoralizing, okay? I don't know about you. You spend a lot of time. You get your score to be 95, 100% on the mobile. And then this happens. It drops down to like 70, 60, 50%. Your desktop is never that massively affected. You might lose about 4 or 5%. But it's the mobile where you get the biggest hit. And when someone goes to your website, sometimes there's that little bit of a delay. Can we get around it? Yes, we can. I'm Imran Web Squadron. I hope you like, subscribe, ding, 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 and follow to keep up to date with so much glorious stuff to do with Elementor and WordPress to help you, your clients, and your business. Okay, so this is what our score is at the moment, 98%. Yeah, we'll take that. But as soon as we add in a GDPR, the score is going to drop down. And there is a plugin that is going to help us. I've just typed in WordPress Real Cookies. It's this one here, WordPress Real Cookie Banner. Okay, this is free. And they do make a claim that they've taken into account page speed insights. And yes, they do. And I'm going to show you the results of that as well. There is a pro version of this, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But what you do is you get this and you install it and activate it. Once you've done that, you can go directly into settings, or it will give you a little bit of an option on dashboard called cookies. Cookie monster. Yes, we love that. Now, the pro version, if you do want to get it, I'm just going to show you what the cost is. What is good about the pro version? Well, basically, it's going to give you tons and tons of tools. So a lot of the settings that I'm very going to quickly go through, you don't have to worry about. You're going to get templates where you can just very quickly install it and away you go. It takes away, I would say, about 5 minutes worth of work. It's not a huge amount of work, maybe 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes amount of work. So if you want to do it manually, you can do. If you want it all done for you, you can just go for the pro version. So here is the pro version cost. So if you got one site, it's 49 euros or whatever you want to convert that to for one website, or you can go for packages. It's entirely up to you. But what this includes within it is templates. So you can just go straight out the bag, right? And it has a lot of settings done for you. But if you're just after a free one, you can just download it from the WordPress plugins like I did and just use the free version. It is up to you what you want to do. Right, so let's say you've gone for the free version, okay? When you come over to the dashboard, a lot of options aren't going to be activated for you. So the cookie banner won't be activated, the content blocker won't be activated. And what you have to do, the very first thing you do when you come in, is you go to scanner and you just, well, it'll either be in settings or scanner, but there'll be a button that says scan, okay? So because I've already done it, that button is no longer in the settings, but it would have been there, and basically you scan your website. What it's going to do is it's going to scan to say, have you got any plugins or any content on your website where it's a good idea for you to basically have it like somehow provisioned for within your cookies consent. Just to make clear that, you know, hey, look, you know, we're collecting stuff off your website. We just want to make sure we're fully covered. So that's really, really good, actually, on top of what a lot of GDPR cookie plugins actually do. I haven't activated it for Google's Maps because you need the pro version, but I'm not actually using anything with Google Maps within my website. There isn't actually a map. There isn't any directions or anything like that. So just bear that in mind. But if you haven't got a map, you can get away with just basically it will say Elementor and WordPress user login and YouTube. You need to have some form of provision for that. I just literally went into create now. You tick a box at the bottom and you say, I clicked on WordPress, create now, tick a box at the button, and away you go. Now, when you do scan, okay, it's going to start to make recommendations for you over here. Let me just move myself to be here. So on the right hand side, it starts to say to you, right, there are some steps you need to take place. And it might be things like setting up your banner. It might be things like just ensuring that you have ticked some boxes. And all I did was just go through each of the settings. There's no rocket science here, okay? You just click the boxes. And it's just basically going to start taking you through a lot of these tabs where it's just going to be saying, right, do you want to allow X, Y, Z or whatever? I don't want to do that. Sorry. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. And it's just going to go through and say, are you okay with this? And there is no thinking. It might sound like I'm cheating here because I'm not going through every setting, but you just go through the motions, right? The key one really is when you go to customize banner. And this is where, when you hit customize banner, it takes you here. And this is now showing me what the cookie consent banner is going to look like. You can start to mess around with this, okay, in terms of dialogue, or do you want to have a banner? How do you want to have this set up, okay? You can then go to, say, body, and you can start to mess around with the color of the button. So if I just go down here, and I go to button, let's just put it as a yellow color, for instance. You can do all of that, all right? So you can start to mess around with some of the content. And again, that's what I'm saying, 5 to 10 minutes to set this up, okay? So if you want it for free, it's not a bad investment of time, in my opinion. Now, once you've done all of that, you will also, when you know, like I said, on the dashboard where it says you've completed the steps, it might say that you still need to add some short code to your website. So a few things you got to bear in mind, and this is part of your 10 steps that you got to go through. Settings, you got to make sure that you have like got some pages created for your cookies policy or your privacy policy, because you got to make sure they are connected in there. If you don't have it, it doesn't really have, you know, if you want to read more about this or what we offer or how you can opt out or whatever like that, you got to make sure you have a privacy policy and a cookies policy page. You could have one page, you could have 2 pages. I'll let you decide on what you want to do with that. What you also need to do is go to consent, okay, and we don't want to do that. So if I go, yeah, by the way, when you go to consent, this is going to pop up about the pro, but I'm not caring about the statistics. What you do need is a legal shortcode, okay? Again, this is in the settings. It will say to you, you haven't added shortcode, and when you click it, it automatically comes to this page. I'm doing this after I've done it, which is why I can't see the link now. You go down here and you pick up the short code for changing privacy settings, history, revoke consent. You pick these 3 short codes up and you might as well add them into the footer. And, you know, it's up to you how you add it. You know, you might add them one underneath one another in a line. You go for what works for you, okay? So you make sure you add that. So when we go to our website, this is what we get. You're not seeing the yellow because I put it back before I came back to you, by the way. So it's gone back to the red accept all button. And I have boxes over here if I want to read the privacy policy, cookies consent, all of these things like that, okay? I could have had the banner at the bottom. I've just gone with that style. Why? Because when you view it on a mobile screen, you get a full screen pop-up. And I hate it when you have it really scrunched up, and it means the button is dead easy. It's in the middle of your screen. You hit accept all and you move on. But how does this impact right now, this popping up on our screen, on our page speed insight? Isn't that why we're here? So this was our score before we did anything, 98% before I added in this GDPR. What we now have, and I'm just going to shrink this down a little bit like that and stick it up here, we now get 92. So I'm still dropping 6%, but when I look at the opportunities for this, okay, the opportunities for why my score was dropping was due to JavaScript. And when you look at the JavaScript, both of them related to this plugin. Now, going from 98 to 92, I think is okay, in my opinion. If your website is already 95 plus and you drop about 5-6%, I would kind of go, yeah, that's okay, because it's of your GDPR. How many people out there who put a video on YouTube or anywhere else and say, hey, I can get 100% on the mobile score because of either WP Rocket or Nitro Pack or something else, and then you check and they've only got like one text, a few images, that's it, and they haven't even got a GDPR popping up. So of course they're going to hit a really, really high score. But if they've got a website with quite a bit of content and GDPR and they're still hitting 92%, I would say that is good. And like I said, I've seen websites, I was talking to someone yesterday from France, they were going from 99 to 50. And it was all due to their GDPR plugin. If they use this process, they might now go from 99 to say 93, 94, 92. You're still over the 90s. Job well done. And look, this is free. If you want to get some more pro features, if you want to have some templates straight out the bag so you don't have to invest 5 or 10 minutes, hey, go with it. But the free option works totally fine for me. So, hey, I hope you like, I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you soon.